Yeah. Anybody signed up for public comments? Let the record show there are no public comments. No people signed up for public comments. The interim president report, that would be me. So the biggest news, and I think I've emailed and texted everybody, is that we have finally gotten our letter of determination from the IRS. Yes. Yeah, officially. But wait, see. Let me get some water. Does anybody want water? I'm good. Thank you. Okay. I need to get some water.
There's bottles down there.
I have allergies sometimes when I come into buildings on something, so forgive me if I start to sneeze. So, yeah. It's still an extension of the city as defined by the Texas Transportation Code and how we were created, and it's a big deal, but that we have our 501c3 because otherwise the city is the only entity that can submit grants on our behalf. So now LCUS can submit for grants on their own behalf and solicit donations and things like that. Sorry, we had the Food Town event, the symposium, and we did some sponsorship that we got very quickly in a very short amount of time. And some of that sponsorship money helped to I think the City Makery is going to write over a check to LCUAS for about $3,500. $4,500 was what one probably.
No, we already.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, so LCUAS will get the balance of that. We'll get it. The symposium will be done by LCUAS.
Wow.
Thankfully. You know, I cannot tell you how surprising it was.
Yeah.
And I do think that it has a lot of legs. The format was good. It was a good beginning.
Was great too.
Right. It was fun. It was like we didn't want to overdo it because it's the first time, and we didn't want to fall flat on our faces and get criticized, and like it was not well done, but definitely. It was great. Mark Winnie, did you see a huge article on the symposium? He called several people, the city councilwoman Melissa Ciadra, who attended all the events except for the last one, right? I don't know if she was there. She may have called her and spoke to her about the project for the river, and he tied a lot of the storyline. I think he's definitely, where his political lines are, so you can imagine it's a little bit skewed on the in Laredo's favor, I believe. Anyway, so he has a big following, and so it's going to get out there. So I'd like to, without further, give your interim, your secretary report.
Yeah, so I went ahead and sent the minutes already. Maria was nice enough to add it on the folder, but if anybody wants a copy of the minutes, and yeah, so one of the things that happened in the last meeting was that we had a motion to approve change in our certificate of formation to make sure that LCUAS has a charitable purpose language attached to it, which be a little bit more explicit with that, so that it would facilitate the 501c3 process. And Vivian said really took the lead on all of that, so thank you so much for getting that going and for
You're welcome.
giving us the good news. So hopefully officially and retroactively nominated as the environmental services representative, and we're still pending academic sector. Just letting her know about the possibility, and I still have yet to hear back from her, but when I catch her in person I'll remind her. And I said, hey, if you or if anyone that you know might be a good fit for this position, let us know. And I mean, as an academic sector representative, let them know to come to a meeting, get to know us a little bit, and maybe we can vote on it that same day, or we can put it on the next agenda because it's been there for the secretary's report. So yeah, any questions? Okay, so I'll end that section.
So you're next.
Are we gonna make a motion?
Executive. Sorry. All
Motion to accept the minutes as presented. Anybody say?
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Okay. Executive Director's report. Let the record show. Councilwoman Melissa Segal has arrived.
Is Executive Director right now our balances are standing at a little over 17,000. We have to write a check out to TDL for insurance for $215. I do want to ask, okay, we have a P.O. box, right? And we're spending, it's like $300 a year. And I'm not really seeing a purpose in it because we get maybe one letter from TDL a year.
And actually, they really prefer.
We're going to let the box. If anybody has any other ideas, let me know by mid-August.
Okay. I will. So how do I get you the balance the sponsorship funding from Food Town, like the $3,500. Do I just give it to you, or who?
A check to LCOS?
LCUAS?
Yeah, and I'll just probably make out.
Okay. Okay. We'll get it to you after this meeting. Do we have to accept the report?
No.
Okay. Next item, Executive Director Report, Jose Luis.
For the past weeks, I've been in contact with South Texas Food Bank. We are establishing a very strong. They sent us about 120 crates, plastic crates, so we can use them to harvest next season. Organic fertilizers, seeds, and all sorts of gardening tools. Them, they are going to start sending me produce that is not good to distribute, so we're going to compost it in the garden. So we are starting that. We are working the gardens. I have a witness here, which is the difficult season of the year for me, because nobody wants to go to the garden during June and the crew from Mr. Coach Gomez, the city forester, Mr. Victor Navarro, has been super supportive with me and his crew. So we're doing miracles in the garden right now.
Well, you're also working with the Methodist.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit
Yes,
about the coalition?
we are in two coalitions. One is the Mercadito at the Azteca. Creek beautification project. We want to participate in those two coalitions. A strong and compelling project. We would be invited to apply for these two grant opportunities. Also, I'm super happy that we have the 501 already, because I know what that is, and our ideas, the kind of projects that we can develop, that we have been developing in the past without grants, and the new ideas that we can come up with. And the 501, we are going to get some grants soon.
It's not on here, but we need on the agendas for every meeting a line item that states grant update, discussion with possible action. Because we need to be able to approve any grants at our meetings, and if we don't have it on the agenda, then we can't do it. So just if one does come up, we see one back in the last one, I think, was in November. That was on there. It says it's item 12.
And my last note would be a fridge, a commercial fridge, but we don't have where to have it. I know we have another fridge that we can install. It's just a matter of having a communication with or storage room or something to have those fridges ready in the garden installed. And of course, we don't have office space yet. It's just another those are my
It's getting to the
concerns.
point that you need a place.
Yes.
And anyways, are there any, I'd like to ask if the,
Often do you change out the garden? So gardening to me is amazing that you have different growing seasons and then things grow and you harvest and you plant again and they grow again. I remember this when Michelle Obama got to the White House and she installed gardens, and then they had produce in 3 months, go figure, and there was talking about they must be fake, how could you just do it in 3 months, these vegetables must have been
lost, it's lost.
Yes, it is, and so I'd be interested in and
For
how much a
example,
garden can
in
produce.
August, we can start planning, well, we are planning for August and September. We normally have for okay, crops for fall. And then for
That's a lot.
summer, we have chiles, tomates. Radishes, beets, chiles. But then we have lots of wheat during this season because we don't have
Is it
that
gross?
help. Yes, we don't have help, enough help. So if you ask me, I need a groundskeeper, at least for a part-time groundskeeper, at least part-time.
And the sun,
To be there from 8 to 11, and in the afternoon 7 to 9. To be safe, because we can have a heat stroke or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
So the other years come in, they don't have basic things like, they have to take water because there's no running
Well,
water.
I have my cooler in my truck, and I always have water.
Right, and they don't have a permanent restroom, so.
They will help
Yeah.
with the potty. For example, we were there yesterday and this morning.
It's not
In
practical
fact-
to have like one of those tents, you know, like and then move it and then move it.
Sí, pero pues como quiera. I mean, home and take a shower, and I'm here
Yeah.
for the meeting now. It's difficult.
Do you have space for a small building, small office?
There is.
a bathroom?
Well, I remember back in the day when I got hired, we were discussing about the carriage house to have it ready for an office. But then I believe the conditions to be
To
rehabilitated.
refurbish.
Yeah.
But do you have another space for like a?
Well, I've been in the first floor of the house.
But it's not open to you.
It's not open to me. I don't have keys for it. No, I don't enter because just they are using it to store the Christmas decor.
Can you give it to them? What's your district? Can you just give me?
There, but very briefly, a long time ago. And how much space would you need?
For an office, yeah. I mean, I just need a desk and
But if you've been in there, is there
some chairs, a couple of sofas.
No, but you've been in there. She's asking which room would you be able to
Oh.
use?
don't know. I have to.
When you enter, I think there's a space on the right.
Just
Yeah.
simply for the bathrooms and
Yeah,
safety
the
and
bathroom
air
is-
conditioning.
Would make sense, sure.
I know the second floor is not.
Rehabilitated.
No.
Are there
It's not
cameras?
safe. No, but I remember Coach Gomez said that they were going to install some cameras.
Okay, 'cause I thought I remember something about cameras.
Right now, it's only being used for storage.
Yeah. And I don't have to.
Okay. So I guess if you had that ability to say, hey, volunteers,
Yes.
you know, we can,
Maybe
They have meetings.
There's your office.
what office?
The office that you need for the 501c3.
Oh, that's
I
a,
think you have after 3 years. Yeah.
yeah. Idea of, is that something that you,
Yeah, well, so the house keeps coming up because I was complaining to the city manager that how much money is it going to take to run this, and how much money should it take, and customers can just wave their magic wand. It's very unsettling. So I'll ask for a meeting, and we start there and see how we can plan it. And take a tour and see really what kind of space you need.
well, the refrigerators don't fit in there, but the, if the, in the ground floor or anything like that?
We could have
Okay, maybe what we
something
need to do
outside
is
the
have
carriage
that
house
tour.
because the carriage house el techo se está cayendo.
Okay.
El techo,
So your all's department is under parks, right?
And
Dr. Chambers.
Dr. Chamberlain. Okay.
So it's not just an office, it's like, there's about 60 volunteers that plus people get assigned hours there for, like, if they have to do
For-
community service or something like that.
Yeah, for court order hours.
And you have some Job Corps people go sometimes, right?
Hopefully they'll start.
For them to, as this, there's no, like, we need some basic stuff, especially,
I mean, we
With
could
this
even have to
ungodly
put
hot
these
weather.
kind of meetings over there.
okay.
So I'll contact to set it up
There you go.
from hopefully next week.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Is that,
I think that's all for me. Yeah.
okay. Any other questions or comments? Food Policy Council update.
So right now we're working on excuse me. I am the project coordinator for the Food Policy Council. Right now we're working on a packet to present to for a healthier food system, which we've been working on for the last year.
Longer. Yes, since the year.
So we're just implementing the changes from, excuse me, talk, and from those two things, we're just implementing here and there, but we should be ready to present on July 31st at the council meeting. So if any of you would like to come,
It's going to have to be put on.
July
Yeah,
31st
that's the
one.
thing.
So I
they
don't
delayed
know.
the meeting. Yeah,
Yeah,
or they
because it's 2 meetings,
wrapped
so
in.
I don't know if it'd
Yeah.
be best to skip this one just because.
Well, so the next meeting will be August 7th.
That's a week later.
Yeah.
It
So,
might give you more time to talk because
I will be.
there is, because our stuff is at the end and everybody else interrupts and gets,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you might end up, it might get bumped to August
Yeah.
7th.
To compile our information for the 6-month
Oh, the biannual report. for the
buy-in.
committees.
And where do those come in on? And then what happens?
I think they publish it there, and I don't know if they present.
So maybe it's not
so. No, it's just you put all your minutes from every meeting, an attendance report, and you bind it and you submit so that they show that the actual group is having meetings. Submit all our minutes and then who's been going, who hasn't,
Right.
and stuff.
I guess.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
And
it's
his
just-
executive reports, and I've talked to him about what to submit to show off. When's,
It's due tomorrow.
oh my gosh.
I already have it. I'm just missing the cover letter.
No, but you don't have his executive director's reports.
Oh
or
yeah, the
any
ones
of
that
that.
he has. He sent it to me electronically because he wanted me to put them on.
So it's actually due tomorrow,
Yes.
and there's no,
No way to
oops,
modify
I'm
it.
late a few days.
Oh, I don't know. It was
I don't
already kind of-
think it's necessary.
Have you done it already? Have you already sent yours in?
Yeah, we. Well, throughout the year, she's just putting everything in there so that she can just send it. Yeah.
Right.
But Rosie's been there forever, so she.
Or about.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's at the 6th month and then end of the year.
Against you.
Right, okay. So I'll have the letter to you today.
Yeah, everything else is ready. I'm just.
Everything. No, says did a presentation to council, so that
Well, I
that
have
PowerPoint
that
can
I
be in
presented
there.
here a couple of months ago.
Yeah, it was the one on
And
Prezi,
that-
right?
Yeah, the Prezi.
Well,
I
he
have
did
that.
Prezi, and then we did another one for council.
Yes, I do have my Prezi.
Okay.
presentation.
The letter for you. Okay, great. Glad I asked. Okay. All right. So.
At a week for the next Food Town, our next symposium. So for
The next one,
next
the Food Policy Council did. They
Yes.
decided the date should be in April.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it should be good.
In April.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as we have the date set. Okay.
The Wednesday and Thursday of April would be
Concrete date already, like a set date.
No, but it's if you want to reach out to the.
So before, I've been remiss. Do you know everybody here, Melissa? Do you? I didn't, I wanted
Okay.
to, I forgot to ask people to introduce themselves, but we haven't met them.
Yes, I'm Ruby Rangel and I'm a volunteer. I'm the volunteer representative.
And
Yeah, I'm Federico Lizondo, and I'm the CUAS.
do you all know each other?
I'm a better son, one of the PIOs I have. Think.
Bobby?
There you go.
Do you know Councilman?
No, I'm Bobby Gonzalez from the restaurant sector. My wife and I own Escapatas in Taberna.
Your house is beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
So, I guess we'll, oh, I'm sorry, Maria.
Oh, it's okay.
No, please introduce yourself.
I'm Maria Stein.
Um, First, I guess we still have a couple of days to tell you whether we should go on the 31st or the 7th. Even though you're gonna just.
I'm thinking it won't get on till the 7th, so
Okay,
I would, if everybody were to go,
right. And then they have to go again.
then well, no. Sometimes that works. That's how it tends to be.
Right.
I think the agenda's a mess. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
when
a
they
big one.
when they bounce back and forth, and then because we're compacting it into 5 weeks into one.
Sure. Because we need to, actually, we wanted to submit this document 5 days. And
Is this to approve something or present?
it's to approve to accept the 5-year plan and, put it, it's not asking for money, but that doesn't mean that they're the reason that this local government corporation was created is exactly what's in those 5-year plans. It needs a presentation. So anyways, but we can condense it into a small thing, and that's why I wanted to get it to everybody so they could see it. It's pretty. And it's already paying off, with the symposium and this relationships that are happening with LCUAS and other orgs. But this is a formal. Okay. Anyways, so moving on. Item 9, that you talked to.
Yeah, so I spoke to Myra Hernandez, who were and I, asked her if she'd be interested. I think she's been to a couple meetings before.
Here, and she's also part of the Food Policy Council.
Yeah. open to, you know, serving as the academic sector representative, or if she knew anybody, you know, in person when I see her.
Okay. Are there any other people that are from the
See,
academy?
maybe she might.
Yes,
I don't see it.
yes. They have a culinary department there, so that's a good point. You want to call her?
Yeah.
Are there any other items that need to come up? Is there anything else before we adjourn? That was the last item, but is there anything else that we need to talk about?
Well, you just talked about the time.
The
This-
time. Months, I don't know if it's just whatever, but we've had a little trouble getting, you know, we've been making quorum, but I think maybe except for once, but time. Is there anybody?
I mean, it's fine for me.
It's
Summer,
fine.
I think typically it's harder. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like we have less of a turnout
Right.
during the summer months. So for sure, for me, it's harder.
To adjourn?
Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Just
I'm sorry.
one more
I'm sorry.
point, well, just to reiterate on the agenda, please, for the next permanently.
Discussion, possible action
No, we don't.
for grant up to
Okay. Those in favor to adjourn?
Motion adjourned?
Aye.
Thank you.